guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. This video is a little bit different because I recently stumbled upon some old papers, and these at one point were in my budget planner. So these are from 2022. So I thought we would do a little contrast and comparison, even though I didn't start my YouTube channel up again until May's monthly budget. I still think that it's reasonable to compare like 11 months apart. It's almost a whole year apart. So I wanted to do this before I got rid of these sheets, because I think what I did is I took them out of here because I wanted to reuse this for the next year and so on and so forth. So this can only hold so much. And I really don't like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I really don't like those extra large discs when you put them on the Happy Planners or the Tool Notebooks like this cover is, because then I find that it's really difficult to write on it. Like your hand feels like it's too high up in the air. And it feels like it's kind of difficult to turn the book, like turn the pages. It's just too much. So I think that's what I did. I think I took all these out to make room for the next time. But honestly, who knows at this point? I don't know what I did. So this is my May budget kit. It looks, the paycheck budget sheets look exactly the same. But recently I have updated those. So if you are interested in downloading kind of a new refresh system, definitely check out the links below, because I have new printables for you, and they're similar, but they just have a facelift a little bit. There's this colorful one, there's a neutral version, and then I have the black and white, and I have these for paycheck and monthly budgets. So let's get into the comparison. So nothing wrong with comparing to yourself. I mean, comparing to other people, it's kind of where we can get into, you know, kind of a crappy feeling. But comparing to yourself, I think is healthy, because you can see if you've made progress, if you've regressed, what your situation is. So let's get into this year's paycheck. So again, it's just a month apart, but it's pretty similar. So we have the same income streams coming in basically, but the amounts are just a little bit different. So for retirement, in April of 2022, we had 23, 25, 56 coming in. This is my husband's early retirement. So he wasn't old enough to retire, but he could get a partial because where he worked closed its doors and they offered him a transfer. But instead of taking that, he took the early retirement and he just got another full-time job here. All right, so that's an increase in 2 years of $129.66. So for retirement, I think that's pretty spot on, because if you divide it by 2, it's $64.83 per month per year. So I don't think that's that bad. So if you do the math, let's say, what did we say? Oh my gosh. What? Who's doing this video? All right, 23, 25, 56. So it was $129.66 difference per month at this point. And if we multiply it up by 12, that's an additional $15.55. Let's divide it by 2. That was an additional $777.96 per year. So that's pretty good. I think so. It's better than the increases I get at my full-time job. So I think that's good. So retirement, just a little bit different. My paycheck number 1 was $1536.80. My paychecks never change, but I recently did get a promotion. So let's go to June for that. Well, let's go to May. Let's make it a true comparison. So if we go to May's paycheck, before I got my increase, I was making $15.94 approximately. I don't know why I rounded this up at this time. I don't think I made $15.94 even. Let's see my next paycheck. All right, $1598.35. So that's a difference of not much. So let's figure that out. $1598.35. No. Yeah, minus $1536.80 that I used to make is a difference of $61.55. And if you divide that by 2, that's an increase of $30.77. Is that right? Did I get that much? I'm shocked. So let's do times 26. $800.15 for the year. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised at that, but am I doing this right? That's for 2 years though. So let's go do it again. $15.98. This is interesting for me. Minus $15.36.80 divided by 2. So that's 1 increase. And if we take 30, so that would be per paycheck over each pay for 2 years. So if we times this by 26 pays, yeah, $815, $800.15. Wow. I don't know what this video is. I don't know how my brain's working today, but we're just going with it. All right, his commission. Let's go. Where was his commission? Was it back here? Yeah, okay. So May of this year, his commission was $1,136.01. His commission last year at this time was $7,716.85. I'm sorry, 2 years ago. That's a huge difference. So, even in 2 years. So 7716. Oh Lord, 7716.85 minus 1136.01. Let's divide that by 2 for 2 years. That's a loss or a decrease of about $3,290.42 a month. That's a lot. That's a lot because it was 6,000 and some, but we have to take it year by year. So that's a huge difference. So recently, if you are a watcher of my channel, when we talked about sales being down, inventory being down, all the things that are affecting his job, it's not him, it's not any one person. They're all in the same boat where he works, in the same industry. So if you take that into consideration, that's a huge loss. So a lot of you watched my video where I talked about us getting a new house because we wanted to get something that had a first floor bedroom for my mom. And we went from a house that was on the smaller side and we went to a larger house with a first floor space that we converted into a bedroom, added doors to it. It's perfect. But our other house, we had about $70,000 to go till we paid it off. And we got a new mortgage that's a lot higher. If you guys want me to go into a mortgage video, let me know. But I was basing a lot of the decision making on what was going on over the past 2 years, the patterns in commissions and things like that. No one could have predicted that it would get to this level. I'm not saying that this is horrible. This is still okay. We're still making our bills. We're still, able to meet everything and then some. So I'm still very, very grateful. It's just different. So I guess the moral of the story is it's kind of difficult if part of your income is commission based to forecast if that's going to grow or if it's going to decrease. It's kind of hard to make decisions based on that. So I'm learning because he's only been in this job for, I think it's less than 3 years. So it's a learning curve. And sometimes the checks are a little bit better than that. Let's check out June's. And again, it's nothing that he's doing. I mean, he's a great provider. He's a great earner. He's a hustler. He is such a hard worker. But some things you can control and some things you can't. Commission for this month was much better. 27, 24, 29. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's different. So I did get some questions like, why did you get this other house? And you were so close to paying off. And why would you get such a mortgage at your age and 30 years and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to say that anytime you get a mortgage, I mean, in my opinion, go for the 30 years. Because unless there's a dramatic interest savings to go to a 20 or to a 15, give yourself that wiggle room and then use Dave Ramsey's early mortgage payoff calculator. Figure out what your payments are. And if you don't have any penalties to pay it off early, make the extra payments every month that you can to make it a 20-year mortgage or a 15-year or a 5-year, whatever you can do. But there's ways to do it behind the scenes and also give yourself some breathing room should something change, like you can see here. didn't anticipate it, but life happens. So that's my advice. And I don't think it's a big deal to get a 30-year mortgage, even at my age, because at some point, if we have more income coming in, I can make extra payments and I don't have an early payoff penalty. And the interest rates weren't that much different because the interest rates are terrible across the board right now for mortgages. So it's not that we were going to save so much money if we went to a 20-year. It wasn't going to happen. So we did what we did with a lot of thought behind it. But again, life changes. So we went over the retirement difference. We went over my paycheck with a commission. And I think the only other difference that we can measure is base pay number 1. We used to have 2 of these, and now he gets his base in 1 check. So $634.97 times 2 is $1269.94, and honestly, it's about the same now. The base pay has not gone up. So sometimes his checks, let's look at our most recent. Sometimes his base pay is $1279.28. So $1269. It really hasn't changed. And I think this base pay coming up that I need to do the paycheck budget breakdown, I think it's maybe around $1,300. I don't know. It's a little bit different. It varies a little bit, and I don't know why. Maybe it's taxes or whatever his part of deductions are. I'm not sure. But anyways, so I thought this was really interesting. I thought that it was good to look back and see how we were spending our money. This $2,382 savings challenge, I remember this, but I don't remember why it's this figure. It's such an odd figure. And I cannot remember for the life of me. I mean, that's so sad, but because it wasn't that long ago. But I remember doing this, and like I said, it was such an odd amount. And I'm like, why was I doing that? But that was my savings challenge, I guess, at the time. And groceries, we were budgeting back then for groceries and dog food $160. And now for groceries and dog food, we're at $205 for a typical budget. So that's increased. Gas was $120, but I think this was, I think this was twice a month. Yeah, twice a month. So now we're at $400 for 2 cars. Look at this. Oh my gosh. The pool, extra mortgage payments. Oh Lord, to go back then. That's crazy. Anyway, we had that pool for exactly 1 summer. We were able to use it, and then the person who bought our house got a brand new pool. So that was it. Oh, my mom's floor. We did do that, and then she sold her condo when she moved in with us. But that was a good investment, and we did that because we wanted. My mom has done so much for us, like over my life, over my married life. You know, she's the most generous person, and so that was like something that we wanted to do to treat her, and it was still a good move. It was. So, anyways, a little walk down memory budget memory lane. I don't know, what are we calling this? The other printable that I found was my Schedule Like a Boss series. And honestly, I use something similar to this still at my job every single day. I have to really micromanage my own time because there's so many different components to my job in any given day that I like to segment things so I can get, a chunk of this done at one time and then totally and completely switch gears to something else. Because although I think I'm pretty good at multitasking, and I can still do that, I really like taking things in segments and then kind of like cycling through it again. So I use something very similar to this. But if you guys are interested in a daily schedule like this, if this would help you at all, let me know. And I can refresh this for the printable library. My asset archive, my repository of printables, whatever we are calling it. So anyways, guys, thanks for spending some time with me. And it's good. It's good to assess and look back to see how far you've come or to see what's going on and to kind of like regulate yourself and, kind of do a self audit and see where you are. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And I will see you guys in my next video.